Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best game ever, shut up. I probably said that at some point when I was a kid. For all of its faults, there aren't many games that are quite like Kingdom Hearts. The very first game did the unthinkable, combining two IPs you'd never hear in the same conversation into a crossover title unlike any other. Its premise was strange, but it had a lot of heart, capturing the spirit of Disney with the essence of Final Fantasy. And to a kid who only recognizes the Disney characters, getting to explore the worlds themselves was magical. Because of the critical and commercial success of the first game, the sequel was inevitable. That sequel manages to stand the test of time, remaining as one of the PlayStation 2's best games and one of my favorites. That game might be the reason why I actually like Kingdom Hearts. The first one is great, but the second one simply blew me away. It had been a while since I last touched Kingdom Hearts 2, so I wanted to revisit the game again. I want to re-experience everything that I loved about this sequel, that I still love about it to this day. Because out of all of the Kingdom Hearts games, this is the only one that I could never hate. Which is why this isn't a deep critique or anything, this is just a love letter to a game that I still admire. Let me show you everything that Kingdom Hearts 2 has that makes this game one of the best.
Restoration at 12%.
So, to recap the events of the first game a bit, Sora, Riku, and Kairi were a group of friends seeking a way off of their island to explore other worlds. But after one fateful night, the island was torn apart and the three were separated. Sora, alongside Donald and Goofy, traveled to the various Disney worlds in search for Riku, Kairi, and their missing king, Mickey. And long story short, Riku turned evil, Sora beat him with the power of friendship, sacrifices himself, comes back to life, defeats the big bad responsible for everything, and sealed the door to darkness, which is essentially a gateway to hell, alongside Riku and Mickey. The overall adventure was fun, it was charming, it was cute. It very much felt like a Disney story with hints of Final Fantasy mixed in. But surprisingly, this game ended unfulfilled. The very end teased that their goal now was to find their missing friends again, which was a bold move for a game that didn't even know it was going to have a sequel. It's clear that Kingdom Hearts was going for something more emotional than we might have thought, you know, for a kid's game anyways. And clearly while we were waiting for Kingdom Hearts 2, they released Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because I didn't actually play this game before Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I'm sure a lot of people didn't. Yeah, you can let me know. Me, personally, I didn't even know it existed, okay? And by no means do you need Chain of Memories to understand Kingdom Hearts 2. It does introduce a few characters and explains why Sora lost all of his abilities, but really, you don't need it. I didn't need it back then, because you're just gonna start this game confused anyways.
Another dream about him.
The prologue of Kingdom Hearts 2 is nothing like the first game. You spend the opening hours with a brand new character named Roxas, living out the last days of his summer vacation with his friends Hayner, Pence, and Olette. Together, they aim to spend the remaining days the best they can, working odd jobs to make money to go to the beach, fighting in a tournament aiming for the top spot, searching through the town's 7 wonders for a school project, and ending each day hanging out at the clock tower enjoying some ice cream while the sun sets. I think that sun is stuck there, by the way. Also, is this still that weird Disney game? Where's Mickey Mouse? Where's Donald Duck? Goofy? Everything about this town is normal, which is strange given that this is a game that combines both Disney and Final Fantasy. But despite how normal everything is, you slowly see as the days go by that Roxas' life starts to crack.
Huh?
Hello, Roxas.
Strange things happen as each day goes by. Time suddenly freezes. Unknown
You
figures
really don't
appear.
remember. It's me. You know, Axel.
And mysterious white creatures suddenly attack.
Again? Again?
Everything about this opening sequence is designed to confuse you. It's wild that a sequel would take such a bold, strange direction, completely ditching its protagonist for some random nobody cares about. But Roxas is an important character to the story. Just like you, the player, he is also confused with the strange developments that happen. You can't help but ask, who is Diz? Namine? Axel? Why is Ansem still alive? Why is Roxas the only one experiencing these strange things?
What's going on?
Already, the game sets up this expectation that the story is nothing like Kingdom Hearts 1. Compared to its simplistic introduction, which quickly got you onto the main story, this game takes its sweet time, letting you fully understand who Roxas is as a character and how he fits into the overall narrative. Overall, Kingdom Hearts 2 is so different from Kingdom Hearts 1 that I sometimes forget that they're part of the same series. Especially after 8 games, Kingdom Hearts 1 just sticks out like a sore thumb. In a way, this was Kingdom Hearts 2 growing up into something else, trying to be something more than just a simple game about a boy searching for his lost friends. And you could even see that through the improved gameplay, which I knew was going to be something special the first time I laid eyes on it. With each enemy encounter, you get a taste of the game's upgraded combat system. You witness the improved presentation that begins and ends battles, and you feel a wave of excitement wash over you as you listen to the new music. It gets that heart pumping as you feel that intense fight begin. All I'm saying is if I don't get the next snap kill, I'm redoing this fight. The overall presentation was what immediately drew my attention away from Kingdom Hearts 1. The way the camera pans, revealing each player on the battlefield, and the information header that slides across the top screen never fails to draw my attention. It was an added style that was so easy to fall in love with as a child, and it was enough to get me to prefer Kingdom Hearts 2 immediately.
Yeah!
The combat is in its simplistic form, which means one problem. This part is boring on repeat playthroughs because Roxas is only playable for a tiny portion of Kingdom Hearts 2, meaning after spending 20 plus hours on a character that's far less restricted, coming back to Roxas feels lame. And because you already know the whole story, all that built up mystery that's slowly unraveling as the day goes by vanishes. I played this game twice, by the way. On the first playthrough, it wasn't so bad. It had been some time since I last experienced Roxas' story, so it was a nice refresher to see how the events unfolded. But on my second playthrough, I can feel my growing impatience demand I get through this section as soon as possible. I was tired of Roxas' limited combat abilities. I didn't want to play this character anymore. I wanted to get to the fun part. As much as I like the prologue, it's not without its problems. It really is a long prologue. You spend about 3 hours in this section, dealing with the confusing story elements, a new protagonist that you didn't care about, and side objectives that feel more like padding. Are we really gonna sit here and say that hunting the 7 wonders was exciting? Or doing these job minigames was fun? I mean, the +2 AP is nice, but you really don't need that. Good enough. Now I'm getting out of here. Skateboard. Is it really surprising that people get turned off by this? I myself was having trouble enjoying this section a second time through. Then again, I played this game a second time immediately after my first playthrough, and people don't do that, so it doesn't really count. This prologue only works the first time around, but I still like it in spite of it all. And it's because of the story it tells about Roxas. You get this crazy foreshadowing in the beginning by Pence, which pretty much hints at the fact that this story may not end so well. Slowly the pieces start to fall into place, the bigger picture becomes clearer. Those white creatures are called nobodies, beings without hearts. Their leaders, Organization 13, are the most powerful nobodies, capable of remembering their past lives, with the main goal to become whole again, returning their hearts back. Roxas was once part of Organization 13, and he is Sora's nobody. That revelation was crazy. To me, this stuff made the prologue something special. It hit an emotional high point as you see Roxas become dejected, absent-minded, upset that he's slowly losing control over his life, and that the life he's lived so far has all been nothing but a lie. And you really can't help but get endeared to Roxas during this whole section, seeing him as his own character, as he deals with bullies, helps the people out, laughs with his friends. Honestly, at times I find him to be more human and relatable than Sora because of these things. So even if a lot of it was padding, I felt like it helped make you feel connected to Roxas.
Sorry, man. Wait, what am I sorry for?
You were never supposed to exist, Roxas.
How could you even say such a thing? Even if it were true. Guys? Huh?
Once the last day of summer rolls around, that's when it's all over for him. He has no choice but to return to Sora now. And you can just feel that this isn't right, that nothing about this feels right. And eventually, you reach the mansion where you face off somebody who once called you your best friend. And this was an emotional climax that has stuck with me till this day. And it was the final battle against Axel.
Simply amazing, Roxas.
Simply amazing.
Axel.
You really do remember me this time.
I'm
so
so flattered. But you're too late.
But you're too late!
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Famous line in all of Kingdom Hearts history. Two! Not gonna lie, this was the part that really made me like Roxas. Pulling out 2 Keyblades, something we've never seen before while fighting in a field surrounded by flames, was mesmerizing. And this is while 13th struggle plays in the background. Even though it played earlier in the first encounter, it's here where it's the most fitting because while the music is frenetic and intense, there is one section in the song that hints at feelings of regret.
Don't make me mad! Not bad, Roxas.
The fight itself isn't difficult since you mostly walk around and attack, but when compared to the fights in the first game, it's peak. Rarely did Kingdom Hearts 1 had fights that felt so emotional as this, and even rarer where the presentation was so cool. It's one of the reasons why I used to think Kingdom Hearts 2 was such a mature game. That context, coupled with the fact that this was such a cool fight, was what really made me fall in love with Kingdom Hearts 2.
Axel.
Let's meet again in the next life.
Yeah, I'll be waiting.
Silly. Just because you have a next life.
At last, the Keyblade's chosen one.
Kingdom Hearts 2, to a kid, was something extraordinary. That opening was captivating in the way that it felt so grown up. No longer was it a simple story that felt reminiscent to a Disney film. This was something else. This was more dramatic, intense, more complex, more emotional, and that's why I loved the prologue so much. It welcomed me into a world that seemed further beyond what I knew. I was watching a tragedy unfold, and although I was excited to bear witness to the improved gameplay, it was in this scene, the final scene of this section, that stuck by me all these years later, even if I didn't fully understand why at the time. The whole storyline was framed around the idea of summer vacation coming to an end. Although I was just a kid at the time, I perfectly understood the emotions it was conveying, because summer vacation is usually a time children look forward to, since it's a time to be free, to have fun, to feel joy. No one wants it to end. No one wants to go back to school. Similarly, Roxas doesn't want his life to end and to go back to Sora. But in the end, he has no choice. He must accept his fate. Accept that he isn't who he thinks he is. He is Sora's other half, even if he doesn't like it. And that's why the last line he says at the end was always so heartbreaking.
Sora. You're lucky. Looks like my summer vacation is over.
Sir, it's Sora. What follows is a triumphant reunion between Sora, Donald, and Goofy. This whole time you've been waiting for this, and that music perfectly captures the feeling of excitement that comes from starting a new adventure.
Donald,
Finally,
Goofy.
the game begins. One thing that always impressed me with Kingdom Hearts 2 was how modern the gameplay feels. I honestly can't believe this was originally a PlayStation 2 game. This game is still fun all these years later, and the reason why I love it so much is because it makes me feel like a badass. The combat system improved massively over the original, but you don't realize it since Roxas is so limited. That's why the transition to Sora felt so cathartic, because once you got a hold of Sora, you immediately noticed the difference. Sora feels lighter to move, his attacks are quick and snappy, and although he starts with a limited moveset, he grows over time, earning himself new abilities from combo extenders, combo finishers, counterattacks, and crowd control abilities. By the end of the game, Sora becomes a monster, and it's so cool noticing him slowly become stronger with each passing level. And the hits felt so good to land. Each impact was punchy. I could feel the weight of each swing. And even though every Keyblade offers a different feeling, there wasn't a single one I wouldn't mind using for the entire game. They are that good. Finally controlling Sora felt so liberating.
Back off! Back off! This is it!
You might write this off as a mindless button masher, and you know what? You're not wrong. Most of this game, you're going to be attacking using the X button. And you know what? That's fine if you want to play the game wrong, but if you engage with the systems, you'll realize that there's a lot going on behind the combat system. Compared to the first game, magic got completely reworked. Every spell you get now fulfills a specific niche. Fire encircles flames around Sora. Blizzard remains a single projectile. Thunder is pretty much the same. And Cure heals everybody around Sora. Every enemy in the game isn't gonna be weak to every single magic spell you have. Some of them will have resistances to certain types, which will force you to think about what magic you should bring to the battle. Once you run out of magic, you're forced to wait on a timer before it refills again. This is meant to stop you from spamming Cure like you could in Kingdom Hearts 1 because it was so easy to do it. Here, well, you better be careful, buddy. Gotta use those potions instead.
Okay.
How the fuck does he do so much damage? The magic system is pretty good. It gives you plenty of options to deal with the crowds of Heartless, and you can mix them in your combos, giving you a lot of flexibility and freedom to express yourself. I didn't really use it a lot back then, but every time I play the game now, I try to use as much of it as I can because it just makes things so much easier. Alongside the changes to the combat came 2 new additions that made you feel powerful.
It's over! Light! Thunder!
Drive forms act as a power-up that can completely change Sora's moveset, changing the combos that he dishes out and the effects of his magic. Each one makes Sora feel so much stronger to use, and they're useful as a burst option, since they can damage nearby enemies and fully heal Sora. It's a perfect way to make a comeback when you're low on health. Fucking activating the shit literally killed them all. I have always loved the drive forms. Keep in mind that this was a childhood game. This was my first experience with something so chaotic and crazy. It's just fun to use. Like, what other reason do you need? Look how crazy this is.
Take this! Give me strength!
Know your place.
Here's the finale! I'm back!
The second edition are the limit commands. Just when I thought I'd seen it all, Sora and a Disney character team up to do some crazy shit. Every single party member has one, and they are a great way to deal damage against a horde of Heartless while protecting yourself. They're each so stylish and full of personality.
Light you up.
It isn't always worth it. All of your MP gets consumed, so you won't be able to heal if you're low on health. But to me, I think it's still worth it. Because tearing through a battlefield with your partner and ending it off with some of the flashiest team finishers ever never fails to make me get hyped.
No shoes!
Take this!
For China!
I'm on fire! Back off! A little teamwork!
Without question, Kingdom Hearts 2 has the best combat in the series. While it has been a while since I played Kingdom Hearts 3, I know for certain that the other games just don't compare. The original was a rather simplistic version of the combat we see today, and even the later games that followed can't even match the sheer elegance that this combat system brings. Although a lot of them were handheld, so they get that. And when I compare it to the other action games I play, I always find myself coming back to this one more. It's a well-developed combat system with various mechanics that balance the gameplay. Things like revenge values, which allow a boss to counterattack if you've been attacking them for too long, or anti-form, which appears if you use drive forms too many times, which puts you in a disadvantaged state where you can't use magic or healing items, and you take more damage than normal. It's all coming together. I can't leave? Oh, shit. I didn't even talk about the summons. Probably because I don't really care about them, but it's worth noting that these also provide various benefits like calling enemies towards Sora or healing him, or even just providing extra combat utility. They put Chicken Little in this game, guys. Why is Chicken Little in this game? And there are also the difficulty options, specifically critical mode, which makes the game much harder. It cuts your health in half, but it also increases your damage output and gives you a suite of abilities that you could equip early on. Ooh. Yeah, so when you play on critical mode, you get all these extra abilities. Normally, you do not get any of this stuff, except aerial recovery. Everything else, though, is nice. And since the Heartless and bosses deal more damage, you're forced to consider your options. You're forced to guard attacks. You're forced to pay attention to their tells, and you can't just mindlessly mash your way against them.
Ah, I gotta live! I'm crazy with that, oh my god.
You could even push it to the next level by limiting the amount of XP you get to 0, meaning that you can play through the entire game at level 1, and it's entirely possible to beat it. I haven't done it. I'll probably never will, honestly. And if you're still not convinced that the combat system is worth celebrating, then you need to at least watch some of the best players play this game, because oh my goodness gracious, I have no idea what is going on. I love coming back to this combat system. It just knows how to make you feel strong and powerful, like you can take on the world. And that was honestly the main reason why I loved this combat system so much as a kid. It wasn't because it was so well made, it was because of the spectacle of each fight, which is perfectly exemplified by the boss fights. Hey guys, got a new dinosaur. I didn't want this. Every encounter in Kingdom Hearts 2 feels more threatening than most bosses in the first game. The scale, the presence, and even the music sells the idea that this is a fight to the death. You know, I have magic lock on, but like for some reason... Oh god.
Starts off with that attack. I forgot the second one.
Against these bosses, they have far more sinister and telegraphed attacks. Just compare Cerberus to both games and that should give you an idea of the difference. One of them is lame, and the other one scared me as a child.
I am not calling Nikki over.
And the reaction commands take those fights to a whole nother level. I'm in quite the predicament right now. Twilight's Thorn will pick you up, go for a swing, gets knocked back, throws you up in the air and...
Gotcha!
That was just the first boss, by the way. Next now. Damn it. All throughout the game, reaction commands will pop up giving you a chance to perform a counterattack, many of which are hidden in specific contexts that you need to pay attention to. Although you are mainly pressing triangle, they make the fight so much more exciting and cinematic as you see Sora pull off some of the craziest moves I've ever seen as a kid. Yes, I indeed am a cornball. It's all just a visual treat more than anything, but without them, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 2 would ever feel as modern as it does now. To this day, I still cannot believe this is a PlayStation 2 game. As fun as the combat can be, the main appeal of Kingdom Hearts will always be the Disney worlds. In my first video talking about Kingdom Hearts, which I do not want you to watch by the way, I mentioned that exploring these worlds felt extraordinary. It captured my childish imagination, it made me believe that I was truly meeting these characters, and it felt like seeing an old friend again. In a lot of ways, Kingdom Hearts 2 gave me those same feelings. I love visiting these worlds as much as I did with the first game, even if it was a departure to how Kingdom Hearts 1 handled those worlds. Just like in the original Kingdom Hearts game, we got a plethora of worlds to explore, ranging from returning favorites from the first game,
Hey, this is Halloween Town, right?
to brand new ones, with the craziest inclusion being Pirates of the Caribbean.
Captain Jack Sparrow, if you please.
I can still remember my sister yelling pirates out of sheer surprise. It's like a core memory. Most of the game is spent reuniting with characters you met in the first game, from Aladdin, Beast, Hercules, and even Mushu, who was just a summon back then.
Yeah, well, you better hope I miss you, or else you're Sora, Donald, Goofy.
Do you know them?
Know them? Man, we used to kick all kinds of bad guy butt together.
Every single reunion was worth celebrating since this time we are seeing old friends again. And while it is easy to point out how often they say Sora, Donald, Goofy, it was always pleasant seeing these characters greet each other cheerfully. I never get tired of this, even if I play this game 100,000 times. Is this what it's like to have friends? And each revisit was exciting too, since we either explored a character's original world like Beast's castle, or it's the same worlds just completely rebuilt, sometimes adding new locations that we never visited before. And even if we didn't see these characters before, it was just cool to experience worlds that I've never even known about before. There was no way a child of the age of however old, how old was I? There was no way a kid like me at the time was ever gonna watch Pirates, okay? So getting to experience a version of it in there was very interesting, to say the least. This is still a kid's game, right? And I gotta appreciate how distinct each of the worlds are. There's about 13 worlds in total, and each one remained memorable, not just for the Disney characters, but for the aesthetics, the colors, the theming. Again, I like this selection of worlds. I just like revisiting them. The actual design of the worlds, however, has seen a massive shift compared to Kingdom Hearts 1. The good thing about it though is that it isn't annoying to navigate anymore. The camera is no longer annoyingly close, platforming is non-existent, and the areas have so much more space to move around in. It was much appreciated, especially since Kingdom Hearts 1, it could often feel like you're getting squeezed inside a box. For the longest time, I preferred these worlds over Kingdom Hearts 1. But over time, I started to realize that they're not nearly as interesting to visit. When you look at Kingdom Hearts 1, although it was cramped and annoying to navigate, there was always some kind of feature within each world to make it stand out. You were changing sizes in Wonderland, you were flying across Neverland, and you were sliding down tree trunks in Deep Jungle, you know, Tarzan's world. You expected to see this kind of thing if you were familiar with the films, and it's what made those visits exciting and nostalgic. And each world also encouraged exploration, as chests were hidden in places that required platforming, an upgraded ability, a trinity, or sometimes by interacting with the environment. It added an extra element to this game so it wasn't just mindless combat. Kingdom Hearts 2 is just mindless combat. The worlds in general are just flat and linear. Outside of a few minigames, there isn't much that makes them feel like they ripped the films and made them into a level. Even in the worlds that have big locations, often feel barren because there's pretty much nothing to do outside of collecting chests that are just kind of there. It's not exciting nor rewarding. You might as well have just given it to me. And as far as interactivity goes, it's mostly just destroying crates and a cool skateboard. The only times Kingdom Hearts 2 actually encourages exploration are with the puzzle pieces. Except it isn't actually encouraging exploration, it's more like a check to see if you have a certain ability unlocked. Oh, I can't get that. Unless...
Light!
Oh, look at that, I'm clean. Overall, Kingdom Hearts 2 couldn't capture the essence of the Disney films nearly as well. It was clear that this was an overcorrection based on the criticisms levied against the first game's platforming. But the combat is nice, so it doesn't really matter to me. But it is important to highlight the problems that exist in the games you love. And I hope I'm doing that well, because I feel like I have the rose-tinted glasses glued to my eyeballs. But Kingdom Hearts 2 does have other issues, especially with how it integrates the Disney worlds into its story. While it's minor stuff that connects them to the overall universe, it doesn't mean that they're integral to the story. None of these worlds have any reason to exist other than to let you re-experience that Disney magic. And that's especially true with the few worlds that are shameless rehashes of the originals. Mulan joining the army as Ping, working to prove herself to Shang. I am the son of Oz, you should return home. Pack your bags, it's over. Mission failed, then the town burns, an avalanche happens, and then you fight Shan Yu. Pirates, same thing. Elizabeth gets kidnapped, we rescue her, Jack gets bonked. This is a little different, but then we fight Barbossa and he meets the same end. It's not exactly the same. You have to include these bozos, but it pretty much touches on the main plot points. At first, I thought that was impressive. It was exciting even to just go through the same story that I know so well, but this time as an active participant. But aside from that, it's just a retelling. Like, why is it here? What new thing does it do? Nothing. None of the actions that the Organization 13 members or Pete or Maleficent do ever have a major effect on future events. Not that Kingdom Hearts 1 handled it perfectly, but it at least gave each world some relevance, whether it be princesses getting kidnapped or Riku butting heads with Sora or Triton telling Sora to fuck off. However, there's exactly one world in Kingdom Hearts 2 that is important to the story, and that's Space Paranoids. During the middle of the game, Sora revisits Hollow Bastion, where he discovers that Leon has found Ansem's secret computer, meaning that they could use it to learn more about Organization 13. And after Stitch sends him to Tron's world, don't ask, why is Stitch even here? You know what, it doesn't even matter, I'm glad Stitch is here. That's when we get this lore dump. The reason why the world is in the computer here is because Ansem pirated and modified the OS to act as the town's defense system. That was mind-blowing to me. Recently, actually, because I didn't realize this was a thing back as a kid. And it's not something you can find in any other Kingdom Hearts game. This world also sees you traveling back and forth between two worlds as you discover the password, give it to Tron, escape, and access the computer in the other world to learn a stunning revelation that twists your understanding of the game.
Who's this guy?
Even during its revisit, the town is under attack because the MCP, the main bad guy of this world, hijacks the computer and starts pumping out Heartless. So you have to go into Tron's world to stop it while Leon and the gang develop a program to get rid of the MCP. This was one of the only times that a threat felt substantial, since this would directly impact the inhabitants of Hollow Bastion. It was also one of the few times a Final Fantasy character actually interacted with another Disney character besides Donald and Goofy.
I think Tron's been hanging around those guys too much.
Okay, I'll take them name dropping Tron over anything at this point, okay? I'm cooked, bro. This series is cooked. This is one of the best worlds in the game, as it provides us a glimpse of what Kingdom Hearts could have been if Disney wasn't so stingy. The world has a purpose. It influences the story to an extent, and that's why this world is special. But what matters most to a world isn't how well it integrates to the story, because honestly, I could not care less. What mattered to me the most was whether or not I was having fun in each world, and the best one that represents that feeling is in Timeless River.
Hey, look! There's the cornerstone of light!
Disney Castle is under attack. Yeah, the place where Donald and Goofy are originally from is overrun with Heartless, and the way to fix it is to go back into the past to protect something called the Cornerstone of Light, which essentially acted as a barrier against evil. I'm feeling quite whimsical today. And what better way to represent the past than the old-timey Disney cartoons?
What's going on? Everything's black and white.
Easily one of my favorite worlds just because of how charming it is. Everything is in black and white. The audio quality is lower. And just listen to the sound effects, man.
Hey, you! Seen any bad guys around here?
There's so much to love about this world that I can't even bring myself to describe every little thing. It's worth getting a chance to experience it yourself.
You'll pay for this?
It really is a shame that the world is only visited once, but I think because of that, it helps make it feel so much more special. This has zero relevancy to the plot, but who cares? It's fun. This is a fun world, and that's all that matters.
Once I wanted you here.
Donald!
Huh? No. Hey, what's the big idea? Let me go! Let me go!
Drum roll.
Each of these worlds feels like they fit naturally into the universe. It tends to be minor things like organization members popping here and there, or character development for Sora, or Pete just acting like a menace, which I love his role in this game. I just love that he is that recurring cartoon villain that appears from time to time. It's the small stuff that reminds you that this is all part of a greater universe. There's this whole section inside Halloween Town where Sora gets all excited, giddy even, to meet Santa Claus for real. Yet the moment he finally meets Santa, he gets destroyed.
Well, according to my list, Sora, 7 years ago, you told everyone you did not believe in Santa Claus.
This game is so stupid. But once you complete the world, they have a little heart-to-heart with each other, where he encourages Sora that he will meet his friend again.
Remember, if you believe in Riku, you will find him.
That's crazy. Santa is canon to like the Kingdom Hearts universe. The game is genuine. It's easy to make fun of it for its insane premise, but much harder to appreciate everything the game did so well with what it has. And so, I just want to take a moment to really appreciate this game's silly humor. Right hook. The adventure is full of moments where these characters behave in cartoonish ways, giving the game a distinct charm that's akin to Disney.
Donald, wait, stop. Donald!
Oh, I'm so happy you're here.
While I did find a few to miss the mark, most of them didn't, often leaving me laughing at how dumb each moment was. It knows it's a video game, so why not have fun? Why not enjoy these moments with these characters you grew up with?
But Donald, Goofy, and I can get rid of them for you. And then we can go see Santa.
Wow, the enthusiasm.
Go now!
But I've got to talk to Hades.
What was that?
Here comes Sora.
Ouch! You're a girl?
I think it's working.
Oh no, those two would fall for anything.
I'm right here.
As time goes on, something about this just becomes different. I get a sort of nostalgic feeling, being reminded of a time I know I can never go back to, seeing these characters act almost exactly how I remember them, only this time in completely unique and different ways, because this is an insane crossover. They were not ashamed to use these characters in strange ways, but I like that about this game. It really shows that it appreciates this IP just as much as we do, and it's willing to take it into different directions to give us a unique experience with these familiar characters. Seriously, Pete and Barbossa work together during the pirate section of this game. Like, how? It's insane. It's crazy. And is it so wrong to love something so strange like this? Even if they turn the Disney villains into anime bosses?
Anger and jealousy turned the king of Pride Rock into a heartless.
You imbeciles! How dare you get a happy ending? How dare you!
I'm reminded by how strange this all is whenever I talk about the games. Here you are traveling between various worlds based on famous Disney properties, fighting against their iconic villains as an anime character alongside Donald and Goofy. There really was nothing like this at the time, and in Kingdom Hearts 2 especially, fighting the villains of your childhood with these incredible combos while listening to kick-ass music is exhilarating. It's the stuff of dreams.
You'll all be joining him very soon.
It ends now.
Right now.
In many ways, Kingdom Hearts 2 made these worlds feel more exciting to visit as you reunited with familiar characters and experienced storylines unique to this game. While it might have lost some of the magic the first game held in its level design, the game still maintains its Disney charm, never forgetting to do so with sincerity. The sequel is different in how it handles its worlds, yet it still produced the same feelings I got from Kingdom Hearts 1. It's just dumb fun.
So kind of you. You can overpower me.
Oh, back off! This is it! Back off! Take this!
That is so nice. Oh my god.
What's that? A letter. I wrote it yesterday, to the boy I can't remember. I said that no matter where he is, I'll find him. One day. And when I stopped writing, I remembered we made a promise. Something important. This letter is where it starts, I know it.
That damn bottle is the reason I enjoy Kingdom Hearts 2's story. Yeah, I am gonna gas up a story that most people would deem cringe or stupid or confusing. And that's because this game has some incredible action sequences, satisfying payoffs, and it was my first experience with a story that was more complex than what I was used to. To a kid that didn't know any better, this felt mature. As mature as it could be, honestly. This game is still stupid, and it is still confusing, especially since most of it hinges on your understanding of the previous games. Had I never played the first Kingdom Hearts game, I would just be more lost. The whole point of Sora's adventure in Kingdom Hearts was to reunite with his missing friends, but by the end of the game he still didn't accomplish his goal. For a lot of the payoffs to hit in Kingdom Hearts 2, it requires you to have a connection with these characters in the previous game. Most of the important developments happen in the beginning, middle, and end, and since I already talked about the beginning, there's just the middle and end that is left. Everything in between is the Disney worlds, and I already explained how they just don't fit in with the story. And that's fine, but it does make the pacing feel weirdly stretched out. The most you might get while in these worlds is certain developments that are happening in the background, but they're really only there to set up events that happen later on. It's not until you make it to the midpoint of the game where the story really picks up again.
Uh-oh, looks like we're gonna have to do some fighting.
First, some context. One of the first worlds Sora returns to after reawakening is Hollow Bastion. This is the very same world that appeared as one of the last ones in the first game, only now it's been transformed into a central hub, a town. And that's all thanks to the Final Fantasy gang, working tirelessly to restore the world back to its former glory. However, there is one problem that they've run into, and it's a massive swarm of Heartless in the canyon. Anyways, and then we return to Hollow Bastion for the second time. That's when we discover one of the game's major twists. You see, the main villain of the first game, Ansem, is not actually Ansem. This is Ansem. This is a video game. And it was a surprising thing to learn since, well, how could you expect such a thing? Answer, you couldn't. This was a retcon. But it works because it adds on to the world and effortlessly fits in the Heartless and Nobodies and connects the two major villains of these two games to one figure that's responsible for it all, Xehanort. Thanks, Mickey. By the way, do you guys remember when I mentioned about the swarm of Heartless in the canyon?
Outside!
Yeah, we're fighting that now. Now the story starts to propel itself forward, engaging you into a series of battles, facing off against the two main factions of this game, the Heartless and the Nobodies. It's one of the rare moments where the story actually feels like it's going somewhere. Okay, I landed into that. Ah, I got comboed. Chunk of the freaking town gets blown off and you enter a new area only to fight an Organization 13 member, which, by the way, I hate this guy. I was one of the many victims that constantly died to this boss fight. And then Goofy dies. Okay, he's not actually dead. They're not gonna kill off a mascot like that. But this scene is so cringe to the point where it wraps around to being peak because the cartoon mouse angrily charges forward.
They'll pay for this.
Have I mentioned that this game is stupid? Masterpiece. Honestly, peak fiction. This part gets real exciting as you fight alongside various Final Fantasy characters together, allowing us a chance to finally get that Final Fantasy fan service we've all desired. Although I didn't know half of these characters were from Final Fantasy.
Alright, get going! Hurry! Go on ahead!
And then we reach the canyon, where we fight off against 1,000 Heartless. 1,000 Heartless. That's like a million. A number that big is unfathomable to a kid, and you're telling that same kid that he's fighting them all? Insanity. Unfortunately, this does drag on a bit since you're just gonna be mashing the same few attacks to clear them all, but it highlights the ambition the creators had. They managed to pull off the illusion of rendering 1,000 enemies on a game, on a PlayStation 2 game. And you get to actually fight them all. It's obvious not all of them are actually there, but it doesn't change the fact that this was incredible. And it's probably the reason why I like Musou games so much now. And then we get our second big twist.
Way to fall right into their trap.
Yeah, apparently killing the Heartless was wrong, guys. Each slain Heartless released one of the hearts contained within it, giving the organization fuel to pursue their true goal of creating Kingdom Hearts, which they plan to use to make themselves whole again.
What in the world do you think you're prattling on about?
It makes more sense when you play this game, bro. It's the moment where he's at his lowest point. Not only does he not know where Riku is, but Kairi was kidnapped too. And the fact that everything he's done so far has helped the main villains get closer to their goals is demoralizing. In all honesty, I feel like this section opened my eyes to what a story can be. Things were twisting and turning in ways I never experienced. The action that led up to this moment was incredible. It is incredibly nonsensical in how it's presented, and yet it doesn't care. And to a child who didn't know any better, they fell completely under its spell, thinking that this is something more grand than he thought. And it all happens in the very middle of the game's story. This was a major highlight in the game's story, pushing it forward, as well as leaving a memorable, lasting impact on those that have experienced this for the first time.
Gorge! It's the gang from Twilight Town. There's Hayner, Pence, Olette, and,
Roxas.
Gorge! Aren't we here because of the picture? Look, I'll show you.
Yeah, Goofy's right.
Come on, let's go find this mansion.
Yeah.
Since it's the finale, a lot of things find their conclusions here, and it makes Kingdom Hearts 2 feel circular because of that. We're brought back to Twilight Town to reach the final world, and it's not just the new Twilight Town that we awaken as Sora, but the old digital version where we spent the opening hours as Roxas. It's strangely nostalgic to return to this area again, and it's a nice way to tie everything back together to the opening hours. Although I don't think it's ever explained why this black orb is here. You enter it, you fight some nobodies. Axel meets his conclusion where he sacrifices himself for Sora. Leads to a pretty touching moment between the two, despite barely knowing each other. And then we reach the final world.
Donald! Goofy! Keyblade?
Everything I just highlighted is what reawakens Roxas, and it's here where he chooses to fight in a last-ditch effort to reclaim his rightful place to exist. Technically, this fight isn't in the base game. This was nothing more than a cutscene, and I'm kind of glad because if it wasn't, I would have never finished Kingdom Hearts 2. Roxas will string attacks left and right, never letting you have a chance to breathe, sometimes unleashing beams that are unblockable. And if you don't know what a revenge value is, he's gonna teach you what a revenge value is. I have died against this fight more times than almost any other boss in this game. It gets to the point where I sometimes wonder if I could even beat this dumbass. But that challenge pushes you forward, forcing you to engage with more of the combat systems, just to eke out a little victory. And once you finally land that final blow, this fight becomes all the more satisfying.
Give me strength! Back off!
Oh, that was easy. Yeah. And I got the thing too. And I got the reaction command. Ooh, yeah.
Who are you?
Someone from the dark.
Okay, edgelord.
You make a good other.
I swear Kingdom Hearts 2 could have ended this series if it wanted to. It's impressive how well it manages to resolve pretty much everything, not just in this game, like in Roxas' fight against Sora, but even in the first game. Kingdom Hearts 2 is when Sora, Kairi, and Riku finally reunite, delivering on the promise the first game set. It's incredibly satisfying seeing them together, and I sometimes wonder why it was even included in this game. I feel like this fits better at the end of a trilogy. Although technically this is a trilogy, but we shut up. The remaining organization members are defeated. Pete and Maleficent are here. Okay. I think the best part about them being here is Pete having his one conversation with Mickey, making a little reference to Timeless River. See guys, that world is important. And then Xemnas and Ansem have one final conversation, which I ended up enjoying a lot more than I thought. Both comment on the other's failings, but while Xemnas tries to prove his superiority, Ansem only expresses disappointment. Interestingly, Xemnas accuses Ansem the Wise for causing all of this mess. And after looking it up because I didn't know what he was saying, basically Ansem's research into the darkness that exists in hearts snowballed his apprentices, including Xehanort, to push the research further, eventually creating more pureblood and synthetic emblem Heartless. It recontextualizes the first game's Ansem reports. It adds lore to the various Heartless, and it helps you understand Xehanort's motivation a bit. And it also explains the machine during Tron's revisit. Man, Tron's world just keeps on winning, huh? And then Riku returns to his true self, because anything can happen.
Come on.
Thanks, Mickey. And eventually, even Roxas and Naminé finally meet up with each other once again, fulfilling the promise they made with each other at the beginning of the game. It's a circle, I'm telling you. All these points combined together makes it feel like a finale, a true finale to the entire series. But it's just the second game. And that kind of boggles my mind a bit. This is still a wonderfully well-made conclusion to this game, especially with the final boss fight. To this day, I still can't think of a fight that's better than this one. It's my favorite. Here begins a series of fights that become more insane the further you get. Starting with a simple 1v1 against Xemnas, you then storm his weird fortress, destroying the engines along the way before facing him in his throne room, clad in armor, utilizing the weapons of the various Organization 13 members against you. The presentation makes this sequence exhilarating. Just imagine the reaction of a kid witnessing Sora slash through buildings like it was nothing. Yeah, that kid was me, and it was insanely hype. The brief cinematics add spectacle to the fight without taking you out of the game, allowing you to still experience the action itself. And the music does a lot of the heavy lifting. It keeps you hooked, making you feel the weight behind this confrontation while pushing you forward with a constant driving rhythm. Just like with the 13th struggle, these two songs, A Fight to the Death and Darkness of the Unknown, have that emotional element that feels so good to listen to. How did I do so much damage to him? What the fuck? This wasn't even a fight.
I'll take him.
I'll lose it all!
Sora! Riku!
Just when you might have thought the battle was over, it continues with Riku and Sora left behind, chasing after Xemnas and his dragon? What the hell? I'm not particularly fond of this first section, but once you get past that, the game has you fight Xemnas once again, clad in his armor, sitting on top of his dragon facing a black hole. I'm still in awe. Although there's so much happening throughout this entire fight, the pacing never lets up. Each phase, especially in critical mode, lasts just long enough to not overstay its welcome. You won't suffer from bloated HP pools, and the challenge is just right. And the best part? Dying only sends you back to the start of the phase, not the entire fight. I need more games to have that, please. What's also amazing is, after spending 2 games trying to find Riku, here he stands beside you as your only ally. It feels right knowing that these two are the ones to finish this fight against Xemnas, the nobody of the man that started it all. Again, this game could have ended the series if it wanted to. It has all the elements of a grand finale. And it's the second game. Why is it the second game? Everything about this sequence is perfect.
Sora, are you certain you can trust Riku? Nothing. Heroes from the realm of light. I will not allow it to end this way. Not yet. If light and darkness are eternal, then surely we nothings must be the same. Eternal.
You're right. Light and darkness are eternal. Nothing probably goes on forever too. But guess what, Xemnas?
That doesn't mean you're eternal.
No more eternal than that radiance of yours.
The sudden shift away from the kinetic energy highlights the importance of this fight. This is the true final battle, and man, what a whiplash it is. It's a much more challenging fight than the previous phases. Xemnas will teleport in and out while bombarding you with his lasers, sometimes sending them out as projectiles and other times using them as weapons, and each one hits hard. He'll even send out the same thorns that the first boss attacked Roxas with at the start of the game, allowing you once again to use the same reaction command that Roxas did. I'm telling you, man, this game's a circle. I remember struggling so much as a kid. I was so close to seeing the end, yet it felt so far. With each passing attempt, I inched closer to defeating Xemnas, and it was all I ever wanted at the time. This was truly a memorable moment. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is a game unlike its predecessor. It's a game that houses some incredible set pieces and cinematics. Even at the end, just when you think that you've seen it all, the game still has one more trick up its sleeve, and nothing could have prepared me for this one iconic moment.
No such thing as
Finally. Oh my god. I forgot how long this is. Why would you do this? And we're done. Oh.
Riku! It's over! Riku!
Don't lose it all!
If only that was the end, but
That's it!
we gotta deliver the final blow. The final blow. You know what I said. Hello. Yes, we're done. Basically. Kingdom Hearts 2's story is still one of my favorites to experience. Not because I think it's a masterpiece of writing, there are other games that I find have better stories. But it's because I can just turn off my brain, forget about how cringe it might be, and embrace how cool it's trying to be. It's a game that still remembers it's a game. It's a game that cares about its characters and their struggles. And it's clear that this game wanted to do everything it can to become better than Kingdom Hearts 1. The action sequences are incredible, the story feels more mature, and that damn bottle. It's the ultimate payoff of everything that came before that creates an incredibly satisfying conclusion, making this adventure always worth it.
And who knows? Starting a new journey may not be so hard. Or maybe it's already begun. There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. One sky, one destiny.
Light.
The door to light. We'll go together.
Yeah.
This is why I still love Kingdom Hearts 2.
What do you say, guys? Let's stick together for one more journey.
It's a game that still holds up well today. The refined combat system shines through in the remaster. The Disney worlds feel just as timeless as ever. The story builds off the first game in such a crazy way. The insane set pieces make me forget this was a PlayStation 2 game. The emotional character moments still hit. I still laugh at the game's silly humor, and the ending is extremely satisfying, no matter how many times I experience it.
There is one advantage to being me. Something you can never imitate.
Really? What's that?
Having you for a friend.
Obviously, nostalgia plays a big role in my love for Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm not sure I would have loved it as much if I never played it back when I was an impressionable kid. I admired both the first and the second games, but it was the second game that stuck with me the most. It shaped my soul. It shaped my childhood. And sometimes I wish I could just go back to that time. It can be easy to lose yourself wondering if you're on the right path. You might even find yourself in a dark place. That's why I return to this game It's my way back. For me, no matter how lost I feel or how much I struggle, I know Kingdom Hearts 2 will always be there to bring me back home.
We're back. We're home.
Before I cringe myself to sleep, I just want to say thanks for watching. Maybe even subscribe if you liked it, or don't, that's okay too. Hope you got some enjoyment out of it. That's all I really care about right now. So that's it. And I'm gone.